Let's fucking go, rigging. We're already up 2 wins for today. We're gonna make it a third win. Just dubs today. Only dubs. Only fucking dubs.
Like last Halloween, I had a little snack size almond joy.
They're good.
Hoo-wee.
God,
Don't mind if I do.
Oh, they're good, man. They are good. You know.
I remember when they came out with Nerd Ropes, and I
Mm.
was like, they done changed the game.
Yeah.
Nerd Ropes? You put it on some licorice?
Mm.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, you would see a lot of people
Ooh-wee.
doing unique stuff with them. A lot of people. You'd see their pants like some thick little fella's pants had been stitched up with Nerd Rope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, and he's snacking. His pants come open again. That's how his mom knew it.
You always saw that.
Yeah.
You always saw that growing up. Dude, in the 90s, everyone's stitching their pants up with some Nerd Ropes.
Different times, maybe different times.
Yeah, I miss
boy.
those days truly when like that was what you were doing for the day.
Yeah.
You were like, me and my homies, we're gonna meet at somebody's front yard. We're going to then ride our bikes to the convenience store.
Get a video game.
Yep, we'll probably play video games in the store because they always had like Ninja Turtles or some
Yep,
shit.
they did.
And then spend $1.25 on way too much candy because that's how much candy you used to be able to buy, man.
You would have as much as you fucking could. And I hated Whoppers, and then I'll tell you this, I loved them.
Whoppers.
Something just happened, those candies.
Oh yeah. The Whoppers are the little nuggets, little turd balls.
With a little malted milk in them.
Yeah, I like them too.
God, they were good. At first, I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
And then I had some more, and I was like, I can handle it.
Yeah, you could. I bet you
good.
could.
It was good. Dude, we used to have, so this place by us, it was Pat's Video and Shrimp, right? So we'd bike over there, and you'd get you a little film, and then you get you a little pound of shrimp with it, right?
Wait, what? It was a video and shrimp store?
Yeah, off of Highway 190 in Covington, Louisiana. You bike over there.
That's
and,
sick.
Oh, it was pretty.
I love a good combo store.
It was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the video and you get your shrimp, man, and roll out of there.
That's sick.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, it was just a different time. You know, it was a different time whenever you go to that. And that was even before the chain Blockbuster. I think they had remember because before that it was like individual.
Yeah.
Like Ricky's Movies.
Yeah, we had Main Street movies.
yeah, it's insane.
Not even on the main street. It was like kind of in a neighborhood. You're like, that always pissed me off. I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude.
this isn't a main street.
Yeah,
This is a side street at best. But they every movie theater or movie store like that, they had like the curtain where the naughty movies
secret
were back
room,
there.
yeah.
And then you're a little kid and you'd always just like try to memorize as many of the covers as you possibly could. You just run in, stare at a bunch of covers.
Yeah, you're like, all right.
Memorize. That's what it looks like. And then your mom's like, Adam. And you're like, what? I went in there. I thought it was a bathroom. Like, you think it's the bathroom every time we come in here.
Like,
You always
what?
think it's the bathroom.
Yeah. And you've peed on the floor in there 6 times.
Yeah. You're always going in there shitting on the floor. I think you're into that scat porno, you little creep.
That was wild, bro. That was fun. That was a good time. What else was I just looking at earlier today that was in the news? Did you see, what were we talking about earlier, Zach?
We were watching this video. Someone threw their mom's ashes on stage at a pink concert.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
That's enough.
Well, I mean, did the mom love Pink this much that...
That's the thing.
Is this your mom?
And how many grams is that?
Yeah, she just heard snorting her mom.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. She's
Deborah.
inside of me now,
Yeah.
and then sings a Pink song. Couldn't tell you one Pink song, but I'm sure she's great live.
Shake it like a... What's that song she sings? Life support, was a little rich. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No,
But
we
that'd be
know.
something. Yeah, that's about the biggest thing you can do is probably throw somebody's burnt mom on a stage.
Well, you hope that the mom was like a diehard Pink fan, or else like that's you're just carrying around your mom all over to try to like meet your heroes.
Yeah.
You're using your mom after the fact. Like if I die and like my future, like if I have a kid and then my kid like uses it to like go to a JoJo Siwa concert or some shit, I'd be a little salty, you know? Like I'm up in heaven, I'm like, I don't give a shit about like
Yeah.
JoJo Siwa. Why are you using me to get close to JoJo Siwa?
Yeah, they're like, can I get in? This is my dad. You know who my dad is? And they just flash a little bag of you.
Yeah, yeah. throw me in someone's face. No offense to JoJo Siwa, I'm sure she's watching.
Oh, I'm sure she's doing
Yeah.
great. One
Yeah.
of my friends used to live next door to her, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't she live in like a cotton candy castle or something?
I think she does.
Yeah.
I think she lives like on one of those on the like northwest corner of the Candyland board.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a Omaha. She's an Omaha girl.
And so are you.
I'm an Omaha boy. Yeah.
Did you grow up around the World Series at all?
Oh yeah.
Did you go to it ever?
Yeah. Oh yeah. As a kid. And then what we would do is we would go out and like people are so drunk there that they will just give alcohol to children.
Yeah.
So you would just stand by the beer tent and be like, "Come on, man!" And you're like 13, and they're like, "Ah, fuck, here you go.
yeah.
I don't care if I go to prison." This boy in a full-on body cast is asking for beer. He needs one.
This boy petting this dead bird with a neck brace needs a beer.
Totally, He
Dude,
needs
that's
some.
great. Yeah. Yeah, there's something about like there was some empowering thing probably for an adult giving liquor to a kid, huh?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't done that enough as I've been an adult.
It's probably fun to see a kid get fucked up. Is that an insane thing to say or not?
No, dude, it's for sure fun.
It's kind of like as
Yeah.
long as they're in like a safe environment.
Yeah, as long as it's a safe, even if
Yeah.
it's not that safe, you know, you're
Yeah.
like, you got to learn how to handle yourself,
That's
young
true.
man.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit like when you see a kid who did not drink and then they go off to college. I remember like our valedictorian, or like she was, I don't, maybe she wasn't, but she was a very smart girl.
Oh,
was
yeah.
never at any of the dumb kid parties that I was at. I saw her in college. This girl was like cross-eyed, blackout,
Yeah.
like looking at me with like one fucking cyborg eye, the other eye's like asleep. I'm like, this girl is in trouble, dude.
Yeah.
This
Get
girl.
Percocet tatted on her
Yeah,
arm.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I was like, she didn't practice enough.
Yeah.
You got to practice a little bit, so then when you get to the big leagues, you know how to handle your scandal a little bit. Don't practice too much.
Yeah.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, dude, my friends would pick me up, and I was a lightweight. So now when it came to weed early on, you know,
Mhm.
they picked me up. And one of my buddies, he drove a church van or something, or he commandeered one or whatever. I don't know how he got it,
Mhm.
but he'd show up in this church van, dude.
He
and-
stole a church van. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was different. Look, I mean,
yeah.
the church let him use it late at night.
Okay. Yeah, for crimes. Yeah.
So, but there was the different rows in the church van, and whatever row you in, it got more detrimental to your health. Like the further to the back you
Yeah.
got, like the
Yeah.
back was like people were, you know, I
Yeah.
don't-
There's just like a small fire back there. Everybody's just cracked out, staying warm.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And one of the people staying warm was like an abortion that like made it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
like,
the-
some,
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
some like 4-day-old.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah, there's a failed abortion clinic in the very back where they can't quite figure it out. They keep having babies, but the front seat, they're just drinking like hard seltzer.
yeah. The front seat is just like it's like people looking at a map, like trying to look in the directions.
Yeah,
right?
just trying to figure out how to get back to the church.
Yeah.
Second seat is a hard seltzer.
Yeah, third seat is remedial reading. That was always remedial reading.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, tutors.
Because if you can't read remedially, then you also then you probably can't handle hard seltzer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or no, that's probably the exact opposite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you can't read, you can drink hard seltzer as water all day long. That's all you want to do.
And it got weird, yeah. The further towards the back, it got weirder. But yeah, they would come and they would test. A lot of times they would give me the weed to test it out, you know, because I was kind of like, I would fall asleep a lot of times. Like we'd go out, I would literally fall asleep because the weed was real strong, and then they'd wake me up when it was literally time to go home. Like I'd miss the whole night, you know.
Oh, that
I had
sucks.
a real sleeping disorder maybe for like 6 or 7 years, kind of. And so anyway, But yeah, I remember just being in my buddy's dad's van, and we would sleep in there and just get really, really high. And one of the kids' dads had some sunglasses. He sold sunglasses for a living or whatever.
Yeah, hell of a living.
Oh yeah, and with the sun, there's unlimited.
Was he like an Oakley rep, or these were like knockoff?
No, he was like a rep.
Oh, sick.
So he had all the different types, you know.
So that's a cool guy to know.
It was pretty. Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was cool actually. I didn't know him real well. We would sometimes do drugs at his house when he wasn't there.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
It was cool. We didn't
Yeah.
get to know him though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's a cool dad. He's
That's
like,
a cool dad, yeah.
Not home, wrap around sunglasses at night. Kids are doing drugs in the basement.
Some dad like driving cross country to sell Oakleys to like gas stations and stuff. Yeah. While you're doing drugs at his house is a good guy.
Well, you think he's a cool dad. Yeah, he's a total degenerate to other adults, but to the kids, he's like pretty cool guy.
We're like, Todd, your dad's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't seen my dad in 2 months.
Todd Senior is for sure awesome.
But we would just get wasted and just urinate all over his glasses supply, right? Like at night. So then, like 2 days later, whatever, he rolls up to some place with a bunch of just soaking wet boxes.
And he's like, they're selling like hotcakes. I don't know. Something about the stink of these glasses are flying off the shelves.
Man, I feel bad about some of that shit.
Yeah, you know, we used to. There was this girl in high school that it wasn't me, but my friends would call her Skeletor, and she was very mean to us. But for some reason, we'd still go to her parties, and then my friends would like piss in her parents' closets and shit.
Yeah.
That's a mean thing to do. In hindsight, you're like wildly mean. Why are we doing that? This girl invited us to a party.
Yeah.
We're calling her Skeletor and pissing in closets?
That's kids, dude.
That's mean as shit.
It's super mean.
Yeah.
People just did that kind of stuff. We had some kids bus, these 2 gals, and one of them, she had, I guess, kind of like wide, kind of big nostrils like me, and this other one, she had like a lot of gums in her smile, and they used to call them, if you take nostril, and one of them they called Mr. Ed because she had longer gums, and Mr. Ed, if you said them backwards, it was Lurtzen and Derm, if you said them backwards.
Sure.
So everybody always be like, oh, look, it's Lurtzen and Derm all the time. It's just so dumb, but it was like, people would just say it so many times.
Yeah, and then like those girls definitely couldn't put that together.
Never.
You know, so they're like, "Why are you calling us that?
Yeah.
That's not my name."
Yeah, it was just life, man.
Yeah.
God, it was fun, dude. Yeah, I remember we did a bunch of LSD, and this lady got caged up, or not lady, but like a, someone that was the same age as us got caged up in this room. Not even caged up.
Caged up.
People said, "Hey, you're caged up in here," and then they were on so much acid they just believed they were.
Sure. Yeah. I'm like, you went to parties and people were in cages? Do we have to call someone?
No, meanwhile, you could get out whenever you
Yeah,
want.
it's just an unlocked door.
Yeah,
You're in a backyard. It's not even a room. You're like, there's no way you can escape. Looking back at the shit that we used to do, like, you know the movie Ma? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, I did. You know who was in that movie? Gianni Paolo, who used to work with us.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
my buddy, Scotty Landis, wrote the movie.
Oh, wow.
And it's based on, I told him a story about my childhood, and he's like, oh, dude, I have a very similar story. And he was like, I bet a lot of people do. And then he wrote that movie, which essentially was this woman who used to buy us beer and shit.
Yep.
We'd go over to her apartment. She made us call her mom.
No.
Yeah, she'd be like, just call me mom. And you're like, huh? But you're like, she's buying you beer. So you're like, hey, mom,
Yeah.
can I get a 18-pack of Busch Light? And she'd like make us, she would be like, well, you got to have a few here before you can leave. And so I remember just like, she had like this crazy like 4-foot zong.
Yeah.
So like, there was also this other adult man. Like these people were like adults and they're just like bong ripping with like 16-year-old kids. And I took enough bong rips that I turned like green.
Yeah.
And then I lay down in this bed, like fully zapped out of my head. And it was her like daughter's bed, her like little 13-year-old daughter. And daughter wasn't there. I'm laying in the bed. She brings her daughter into the room. She goes, it's okay. Just crawl into bed with him.
No.
Yeah. And I'm like so green and I can't move. And this fucking little girl crawls into bed with me. And meanwhile, I'm like 16 years old and I'm like, this is too weird. And then luckily my buddies like grabbed me and pulled me out of there, and I'm like, this is a fucking horror film, dude.
Yeah, because that is a horror film. That lady could be setting you up. Who even knows? Why is there people that are still living that much in the past where they are? Or what do you think that is? Like the mom that does that, or the dad that? That's more of a mom. Is that more of a mom thing or a dad thing?
Well, it might be a dad thing, but then that dad is arrested pretty quick. I feel like dads get arrested for that shit pretty quickly. Moms are like, maybe she is just being a nice woman, and
Yeah.
give him a benefit of the doubt. Guys immediately, I think they're like,
Yeah.
he's a creep. He goes to prison. Yeah, the fact that we were able to party at this woman's house and like,
Yeah.
it was a strange thing.
Every town has a couple kind of cool moms like that.
Yeah.
You know, and they're fucking cool, dude. And
They're-
sometimes they drive a van. One of them, I remember, drove a van with like that swimming pool ladder on the back. Like, what the fuck was
Yeah,
that?
I
for?
remember yeah. Why
Like,
did
'cause,
you?
Yeah, every time you go up there, there's no pool up there.
There's not a pool. There's never been a pool up there.
You're like, this is a fucking
The weight
lie.
limit, it would. Yeah, you couldn't put a pool up there.
This van's a liar,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I feel also vans. Where are vans?
Yeah.
Vans up and disappeared, dude.
They were so good.
Well, my mom had a minivan that had like those twinkly lights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not a fancy. It was not particularly fancy. It was called a Mark III, and it had like the little lights. You remember in the movie theaters?
That looks like it on the top left. Or that's a Mark II.
Yeah, that's a Mark II. Ours was the Mark.
Oh, that's the Mark
Oh,
III.
that yeah. So
Wow.
essentially this, and then dumb ladder, and then there was a little like 13-inch TV with a cassette. So we'd watch Half Baked in there. You know, we would on road trips, I'd queue up some Forrest Gump, put that bitch on repeat, just run it right back.
Dude, I remember my mom got a Dodge Neon car, and we'd never had like a nice car before. And we went and my brother and I would go and sleep in it at night. And put the passenger seats down and the driver's seat down and sleep in it. It was so nice, dude. Pull it up.
A Dodge Neon?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, but that's not a van. It's just a car.
Oh, it was a van to us, man. It was
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
beautiful. It was so spacious. Because before that, she'd had a
Yeah.
Ford Festiva.
Oh yeah, my
You ever seen those?
yes, my mom they had a Buick.
That right there, the silver one. My mom had that, and she used to beat us in. I literally, that car ran by abuse.
Yeah, that's what it was powered
Like
by.
my mom could play us like the drums. Like she would sit in the fucking driver's
Yeah.
seat and literally like
And the roof would like start to droop on you, like the roof. That's what my mom's car like. It would like the roof no longer the feltsness.
Oh, yeah.
It no longer stuck to the ceiling, and it would just start to droop down, and you'd be in the back seat with like a roof like hanging, like it's some swoopy bangs, but it's just the roof to the car.
Yeah, you'd be like, I hate you, mom.
Yeah, God, get a car that I can see out of.
Dude, with that droop roof, because yeah, a lot of those vehicles had Bell's palsy.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. A lot of those vehicles.
It was a different time. All right, we've reached that part of the show that nobody ever skips. And this time it's sponsored by Lucy Nicotine. That's right, Lucy's tobacco-free gum, pouches, and breakers are intelligent nicotine options for upstanding, responsible adults like yourself. If you want to use nicotine and use it responsibly, then Lucy is the way to do it. All their products have three things in common: no tobacco, powerful nicotine, and delicious flavors. If that's something you're craving, you're trying to change the way you consume nicotine, Lucy can help. Shipping is always free, and there's a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. They sent me a bunch of products, Lucy did, and I'm looking forward to checking some of them out. I know they have wonderful flavors like mint and mango, and people love both of those types. Visit lucy.co and use promo code Theo to get 20% off your first order. If you're in the mood for some nicotine, or you're trying to adjust the way you consume, or you're trying to wean off, Lucy could be a way to do that for you. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. That's right. This product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. Visit lucy.co. Use promo code Theo to get 20% off your first order. That's lucy.co. Promo code THEO to receive 20% off and always free shipping. You know what movie I saw the other day that I really liked was it was a Jim Carrey movie. It was called when he owns the theater. Or he goes back and gets that movie theater, Majestic.
Oh, I did. It's been so long.
It was a
I feel
good
like
one.
that's a good. I'd go back and like just do a deep dive on all Jim Carrey movies because he's
So good.
he's the legend.
Such
I
a-
won my 5th grade talent show doing Jim Carrey impressions.
No way.
Yeah, I did.
Can you still do any, you think, or no?
I mean, no, they weren't even good back then. It was just like somebody, you know. It's just me doing Mask. Yeah.
It was good. Did you ever go to? Cause you grew up in Omaha.
Yeah, I grew up in Waterloo, Iowa till I was 10, and then we moved to Omaha, and then till high school, and then after I graduated, I moved to LA.
Did you ever go to the Field of Dreams?
In Iowa, yeah.
You
Oh,
did?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool, isn't it?
It's way cool. Yeah, it's in like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like a baseball field.
Yeah, Dyersville it is. I love the Midwest. My mom went
Yeah.
to school over there in Iowa, but
Where-
dude.
where at?
She went to Colin College, I think.
Oh, okay. Seems
There
real.
it is.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool when you go see it. It's cool.
Yeah, I like the Midwest. People give it such a bad rap, but it's just people are so nice. It's like beautiful. Like Iowa's a very pretty state.
Oh, I love
Like
it, man.
rolling hills and just green, beautiful fields. Cornfields. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, also like
Those are fun.
Purina dog brand was from. There's a lot of famous old brands that are from there, like
John Deere.
Yep. What else? Russell Stover, I think. Where's that from? Imagine knowing him.
Russell. I'd love it.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh yeah, can't right there.
Kansas City, Missouri. It's like, it's like accepted as the Midwest, even though I feel like it's getting a little Wild West kind of.
It's a little bit. What I like about Kansas City is like that there was like a real mafia element.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
because St.
Kansas-
Louis has a mafia
Yeah,
element.
Kansas City, there was like the Kansas City mob bosses, and like they wouldn't go west to there. Like so, the mob bosses would be in there, and they would control Vegas because they couldn't get any closer. The feds would come down on them.
Fuck, that's
At least that's what
crazy.
like Casino taught me. The movie.
Yeah, I believe a lot of that.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of that, man. Is there a movie that you've been thinking about? Like, so you have this one done. Is there like another movie that now you like? Do you have to wait to see how this one does to see if you get other opportunities? How does that kind of work
Kinda.
in your business? Because you've had a good run. A lot of guys
Mhm.
don't get some of the same opportunities. You know.
For sure. Yeah, kind of. You always have to be thinking like, what's the next thing? But yes, I think this one. I have a lot riding on this one. So they Netflix really wants it to do well. I really want it to do well, and I think if it does well, then Netflix will let me make it a handful more,
That's great.
which would be great.
Yeah,
So
man. We'll make
watch
sure
it July 7th.
we will.
Yeah, so but I have like the next couple ideas cooking right now. So as soon as the writers were on strike, so I can't go pitch a movie right now.
Yeah.
So like I have it ready to go, and then as soon as we are not striking any longer, I'll flop on into that movie studio and pitch my wares.
Do you pitch something before you write it?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's you want to. It depends. Every project's like different, but sometimes if the idea is like too weird that you feel like the executive wouldn't be able to get it, then we wouldn't. We would just write it and then go sell it. But if it's like a hooky idea like this, The Outlaws, like when you understand the movie when I
Right.
pitch it to you, so you're like, oh, I get it. You could just pitch that idea and they'll buy that idea, and then you're kind of on the track already.
Your show, The Gemstones, are you guys finished doing it, or you're just waiting to see if you do it again?
I think we'll probably do it again. Danny's pretty confident. He wants to do another couple seasons of it. It's so fucking fun, dude.
Yeah.
And Danny McBride is like, you know, like you said earlier, I'm just like so damn lucky to like that they allow me to keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
And
It's so ridiculous.
Danny McBride is like a true comedy hero of mine. Like, I remember when me and the Workaholics guys, like way before we got Workaholics, when we were still doing like internet sketch stuff, Durs came over, Anders Holm came over with a DVD. He like knew an agent had slipped him a DVD of The Foot Fist Way.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie?
So good.
So good, dude. And
So good.
Jody Hill directed it. Danny is the star of it.
And is Jody right on Gemstones?
Yeah, he directs a lot of the episodes.
Wow, what is he like?
He's the best, dude. He's just like the coolest. They're all just the coolest, nicest dudes. And I
That
mean, you
movie
get
is
along.
so fucking good, dude. When he's trying to break that, they fucking break that board.
Yeah, he's. I mean, so funny. And we were writing sketches together, and we would write every Wednesday and try to shoot something every weekend. That was like our schedule. And so Durs comes over and he's like, "We're not gonna write anything. We're gonna watch this movie. I heard it's unbelievable." And we're like, "All right." And we watched it, and we were like, "Holy shit!" And then we watched it right back. We watched it 2 times in a row, and it was the first time that we were like, "Oh, we can." Not that it wasn't great, because it was great, but it was like they felt like we know those dudes. Like we can make movies like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like Will Ferrell, since he does like these big characters and his movies are like big and broad.
Can't really do that.
Yeah, it felt like unobtainable.
Yeah.
And so it felt like, oh, we can make a movie like this. It
Yeah.
feels like down and dirty, and like we could do this like with our friends. And then we started to, that sort of changed our idea of like what we were doing, because we were playing like more characters or doing like bits with our sketches, and then we were like, we should just kind of play ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how Workaholics, like that was the start of like trying to do sketches where I'm Adam, but like an exaggerated version of
Yeah.
myself, you know. And then Workaholics was kind of born out of
You guys being yourselves just in an environment.
in an environment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing that happened with me for podcasts. And I used to have a podcast with my friend Matt Weiss, and he works with TMZ. I think he still works with them. And we were interviewing celebrities and stuff, and talking about like celebrity stuff. He knew a lot about celebrity stuff. He really liked that world, and it was kind of a struggle for me because I didn't know that much about celebrities. And then I went on Joe Rogan's show, and I left out of there one day, and I was like, oh, I just need to be myself. I just need to be in a place where I can just talk.
Well, I think that's when comics really start to find their rhythm, right? Is when you get over that hump of like I feel like every comic starts this way, where they have their top 5 comics, and
Yeah.
they try to be like a version of them.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just doing like what makes you funny.
Yeah. Who were
And-
some of yours early?
Of like the comics that
Or that do you feel like you impersonated anybody a little bit? I know that I remember showing a tape to a guy one time. I was doing like a year, and he's like, "This is great if you're like a Mitch Hedberg impersonator." I'm like, okay, very fair, very fair. Very
Yeah, I bet I was doing like some Tosh, or like trying to be like Swartzen, or Jim Gaffigan was really big at that time,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
love how he like plays with the levels of his voice, which I still like to do. But
I can see that now. You say it a little bit.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some of that. And then I think like when you start to find your voice is when you go like, yeah, obviously like Chris Farley's like an influence of mine, and Jack Black's an influence of mine, and Sandler, but like what makes me me? And then from then, once I kind of committed to being myself, I feel like everything clicked into place.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was from watching Foot Fist Way and being like, oh, these guys are just, even though Danny isn't that guy, he's like doing a character, but it's like they're doing a character from a real place that they can access, and not, you don't have to, like, on your 30th movie is when you can stretch and try to be something that you aren't.
Right.
When you could be Tom Hanks. It's like Tom Hanks didn't start off doing like these
Polar
super dramatic,
Express or whatever.
Yeah, Polar Express, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, man, that we all pick up pieces of other people. There's a famous book about that. It's like I don't know if it's called Borrow, but there's a book about that we all like, especially I think in entertainment, you can't help but take influence from things. Like we just interviewed Ric Flair, and he talks, and his whole
love Ric Flair,
oh, it was unreal, dude. I mean, he is
Ric Flair will text me every year for my birthday. I'm like, this is the best. Like, no one. Like, my friends don't even do that shit. But Ric Flair's like, woo, happy birthday, Adam. I'm like, love it, dude.
Bro, it was so interesting, but his character, I guess, or some of his things that you know him from, they're amalgamation of other people, right?
Yeah.
And he says it's not any talking out of shop, and he kind of like fine-tuned them, you know? It's just interesting. That's how everything works, kind of.
Well, it's also like the generation of comics that you come up with. Like, if you're rolling with a crew, you all are like kind of taking from each other, like
Yeah.
without even. It's like how groups of friends when you guys are kids, how like that group of friends, they all have the same terminology.
Yeah.
They all have the same verbiage. Like they talk alike, they dress alike, and you just can't help but be like that.
Yeah.
That's just human nature. So like when people shit on me for talking like this person or being like that person, I'm like, I'm friends with those guys. Like this is just how we talk.
Right. And some of it's paying homage to them in some type of a way, you know? It's like you're kind of, it's like you're...
As long as you're not stealing like their jokes or like
Yeah.
fully, like I bet you would be like, yo Adam, what's with the mullet? If I like get your exact same hair and I start like doing like your type of material, you
Yeah.
might be like, what the fuck, Divine?
Yeah.
But like,
And if you got held back in the 6th grade...
yeah, if I demanded to be held back in the 6th grade to be more like you, yeah. And they're like, but Adam, you can read and do basic math, and I'm like, fucking hold me back.
Hold me back so I can be a fucking king next year. That's
yeah. I'm trying to be the Rat King.
Yeah, dude. Bro, it's crazy that people just let their kids go through all the great. Like, hold your kid back 1 year
Yeah.
and make him a fucking legend.
Dude,
bro.
I remember
Hold him back.
the kid that I was like my bully. It's funny, I've said on multiple podcasts that he was my bully. And then my aunt one Thanksgiving comes up to me and goes, Adam, can I touch you? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And she goes, do you remember Brian? I'm not gonna say his last name. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that kid was my bully in elementary school. And she goes, he says that you were his bully and that you really picked on him when you were a kid. But this was the kid that he like failed a grade in like 4th grade or whatever and was held back. So he's like way bigger than me. He had like facial hair in the
Yeah.
4th grade. He was like, and he would
Drawing it on, but he had it.
yeah, he had it. And he kept picking on me. And I remember, like, my dad was like, is he bigger than you? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, then violence is your only key. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you have to strike first and strike often. And I'm like, this is some bad advice,
This is
Dad.
a foot fist
Yeah,
way.
totally. So like I like punched this kid in the face. Like he said some shit. I just like fucking whacked him, and then would run away. Be like so where he could never strike back. I kicked him down a staircase once. Like so I was like a violent little kid. And in hindsight, I was this kid's bully. But from my point of view, he bullied me, and then my dad just gave me the go ahead to be a violent little fuck. And so I'm sorry, Brian. I didn't know, dude. I thought you were my bully, and I was trying to stand up for myself.
Yeah, we didn't know, Brian. Bullies are regular people.
Love that song.
God, sometimes I see the bullies and I pray for them.
Damn. We got to get you in a Pitch Perfect movie.
They don't make good music anymore,
Yeah,
huh?
shit.
How perfect are you guys gonna make the pitch? That's what a lot of people are wondering.
Yeah, isn't it perfect
I
enough?
don't know. That's
God
what
damn.
people are saying.
Yeah.
It's like when Step It Up keeps coming out.
Yeah.
People are like, how?
Yeah, they're taking it up to the streets. Like we get it. How many places?
Amy
do you have to
Schumer
step
always
up
used to say that. How much do we have to step it up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How perfect is the pitch gonna get? Do you will it?
It's still getting, dude. I'm doing a spin-off show. I did. It's called Bumper in Berlin. Season 1 is already airing on Peacock. It was a fucking hit for them. And then, yeah. So I lived in Germany for like 4 months last year, and like just being a song and dance man in Germany. Dude. Yeah. There's me. That girl has horns on her head. Yeah, it's a wild show.
Interesting. Is
Yeah.
Riff Raff in it?
No, dude. That sucks. You're right. I should put Riff in it. Yeah.
What up, Jasper Nave? I am
I'm
Playing ranked, hell yeah. I'm playing ranked.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm playing ranked right now. This is
It's been an
ranked.
interesting life, man. Because to go stay in Germany for 4 months is pretty. Did you have to work every single day, or did you actually have some free time?
Yeah, I worked a lot on that one because I was the lead of it, and it's like a song and dance show. So like I'm singing and dancing every goddamn episode. So like I have to on the weekends. It's like I have to go record songs and I have to like learn choreography and shit. And then, but it was a wild. That's. Have you ever been to Germany? That's a-
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I have. My
where-
girlfriend. Somebody almost ran over my girlfriend with a bike over there.
Oh dang, where at?
I don't know. It was by like this little. It was kind of like by a. I don't know what it was. I don't remember. I mean, I remember, but I don't remember enough to say anything else.
Yeah, I've been there. That is a dangerous intersection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dangerous intersection.
Yeah, so we were in Berlin, and awesome city, super fun, but like also like kind of cool in a weird way. Where like they have this club Bergheim, which is like the cool club where like everyone wears like leather dick pouches and shit. And they have this guy that they call him the piss goblin, and he's like a 65-year-old man who's just like and like you're supposed to just piss on him when you see him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
And
he'll
is he in a
like
chair? Is he sitting down?
no, he'll just like, well, I didn't go to this club, but I've been told all about him, and then he'll just like go around the club, and yeah, that's it right there, the big square building, yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then it's just a warehouse inside, and yeah, it's scary. It's like industrial type music, and then the piss goblin will like lay in the trough. You know how they have troughs at in shitty men's bathrooms.
Yeah.
And he'll just lay in there and be like.
And you can just splash him up.
You can just splash them up, apparently.
Wow,
Yeah.
Freaking put a batch on that dude.
So
man.
it was like COVID was just starting to like wind down at that point, and so all the clubs were closed. And then while I was there, they all opened, and we were getting sat at this nice restaurant. My wife Chloe and I, and the guy recognized me. He's talking to me, and he's like, "How are you enjoying Germany?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, we really like it." And he's like, "Have you been to some of the clubs? They're so fun and crazy." And we're like, "Oh, we haven't yet. You know, I'm working a lot, so don't have time to go to the clubs." And he goes, "Oh, it's so fun. You have to make the time. There's awesome parties, the piss parties." And then he goes, "Okay, your table's ready." Just so quickly, the piss parties. Okay, table's ready. You can sit down. Here's some charcuterie.
Yeah, dude. Here's some ginger soup.
Yeah, here's some ginger soup. Enjoy the piss party.
Well, dude, piss pigging is a big thing. I think now it used to, and even vegans are doing it. I think it's like piss pigging is, I guess, when there's like a fella at like a.
What's pigging? What's piss pigging?
Can you bring something up, Zach? You're leaving me on a branch here, brother. It's when people are drinking urine, I think, somewhere.
Oh.
And like it's like rich. I don't know if it's rich people do it, but it's like piss
some-
pig.
yeah,
Here we
piss
go.
pig,
Well, let's
yeah.
don't look at porn. Don't look at porn, please.
But, I mean,
Well, it's hard. It's hard
That's
not to
what
look
it
at
is.
porn with the piss pigging because it's probably pretty synonymous with. It's like you look up butt fucking. You're gonna see some butt fucking then, you know?
Dude.
Yeah, you know, it's like you look up piss pig and you're gonna see some piss pigs.
All right, whatever, man.
Yeah.
That's how you guys are gonna be about it. I'm just looking for more of a technical site.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear the symphony. I just want to read the sheet music. you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I get it.
But I think it's people that will drink urine. So it's like at these high-end parties, I'm hearing you can go around and you pay somebody and then you just urinate into them. And
Huh.
it's like and people enjoy it, I guess. But that's something that's going on. But I think in Germany, things aren't as taboo to them. Is that what it felt like, or it's more taboo?
Well, I feel like in Berlin, especially, it's like the freakier you are, the cooler it is, and everyone's just very open minded.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was staying at the Soho House, right, in East Berlin, very nice hotel. They have this awesome rooftop bar that we would eat dinner up there a lot of times, and we were having drinks late one night, and it was like it was like 11 o'clock.
Scarlet
But people go,
19.
they have
Thanks
dinner
for
at
the
like
follow,
11, and then
okay.
they go to the clubs at like midnight
Welcome to
1,
the
and then they stay there all night long. And there's full-on dudes in like leather straps with like their nipples like pierced, and then a chain connecting, then a chain going down to
Oh,
the
yeah, I've
you know
seen
where.
that stuff.
Uh-huh. and he's just full on sitting there eating a full rotisserie chicken,
Oh yeah.
just in that get up. I'm like, that is, you don't see that in L.A. You know?
No, you don't see that.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't.
oh, here we go. There's a social media community of people bathing in their urine for the sake of health. So you bathe in your own urine. I feel like,
I'm gonna say no to that.
yeah, I'm gonna give that a no too.
Highlights from the urine therapy. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, so this lady,
And this lady, or also this could be that guy, Bill. What's his name that used to play for the Lakers?
Lambier,
Bill Walton?
Bill Walton.
does he?
She looks like him a lot.
Oh yeah, that's Bill Walton now.
I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. Who knows, bro?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
And no shade to Bill or Luke. I don't know. There's just this could be AI.
yeah, that's true. You can't trust anything anymore.
But dude, if somebody rolled up on you with, first of all,
Also imagine, because that woman, it said 59 years old. She said she was. Imagine being, 59 this month. Imagine, because that could be your mom. You know.
Yeah.
Imagine your mom has like a little health kick, like moms sometimes do.
My mom
where-
has them all. Yeah.
Yeah, where you're like, yeah, I've got really into salads or whatever, and you're like, good for you. I like that for you. You know,
Yeah.
try to live as long as you can. But then your mom like goes full on like I guzzle my own piss.
Oh.
That'd be a bummer. She's like trying to give you hugs and like little cheek smooches, you know, as moms do.
Oh, yeah.
But she has like a breath of her own piss. That would suck.
Dude.
That'd be a real bummer.
That's that movie. Yeah, it's like the sequel to that movie Backdraft, kind of. But what about this brother right there soaking his feet in some urine and letting the dog lick him?
Oh yeah. Well, this man should be arrested.
I mean, this guy, yeah.
This guy has to go right to prison.
I mean,
And
this-
that woman too. Mom, you gotta go to jail.
Yeah, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I feel. Anyone else's month-old urine tastes exactly like beer? Nah, dude. Well, you're drinking for sure bad beer.
Yeah, that's a bad.
Yeah, that's
beer,
bad. Really bad beer. Like you could just spend like $1 more and get beer that doesn't taste like month-old urine.
Yeah, non-piss, no piss in here. That's
But what
it
if what if that's the like Bud Light's new slogan? They're trying to gain some
piss.
drinkers back.
No piss in here, buddy. Is your wife an actress too?
She is, yeah.
She is, yeah.
Mhm.
She's a very beautiful lady. You guys post a lot of pictures and do a lot of fun stuff together. It looks like.
We do. We tried to do a bunch of fun stuff.
Did you guys kind of fall in love? What was that like for you? Because you seem like you're in love, kind of. That's the vibe that I get from you.
Yeah, I hope when you marry someone you're in love. That's the key to the whole thing, I think.
But some people don't put they don't.
Yeah, because they don't want to. Yeah, I'm like I feel, because we want to have kids and stuff. And some people, I have friends that they like don't put their kids on their social media. I think I'm just gonna put my kids all over. I don't give a shit. I just
Yeah.
like my life. Like I'm a pretty open book. I'm like, yeah, this is my wife. These are my friends. This is my kid. Like,
Yeah.
don't kidnap the kid. Obviously,
No.
that's a prerequisite.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a definitely no. But it's like,
But even stalkers aren't that. Back in the day, I think a stalker would come to kids. Like stalkers, even nowadays, are kind
people
of.
don't give a shit about me.
They're
That's what's
lazy.
cool about comedians. It's like, there's no one really cares.
That's a good point, huh?
Like it's like when people see you at the Starbucks, or see me. They're just like, oh shit, what's up, man?
Yeah.
You want some extra pumps of sugar-free vanilla?
Yeah.
Like that's what I get, Or like, yo, this one's on the house. I'm like, no, dude, I can pay for the coffee. And they're like, I got you.
Yeah.
That's the level of stalker that I have, just like a cool guy who's a barista.
But then when that dude shows up later in your living room and he's like,
Yeah.
this one's on the house.
Yes, you owe me for that cold brew.
Bro, that would almost be
Yeah.
a crazy movie of like a unique stalker that like just shows like
Who just wants to brew me espressos.
yeah.
Yeah.
He gives you one free thing and you don't even want it. And
Yeah.
then he holds that against you forever.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, where he just, you're like, I didn't even want the egg white and ham sandwich that you made me get. It's like, I actually had breakfast, homie. I didn't
Yeah.
even want this, but all right.
I had a woman hit me after a show once, stop me after a show one time and ask her if I was leaving subliminal messages in podcasts to her. And that was kind of crazy. And she was extremely serious. She was extremely serious. and
That's scary.
It was way scary.
But you were, right?
What I said was, I haven't been, but I will.
But you're gonna start. Yes, 3 M&Ms, 3 M&Ms, whatever that means to her. Yeah, I had one time, and this was really early on. Nothing this weird has happened since. But this girl brought me a bunch of cupcakes to a show, and this was like right when Workaholics was taking off. And I'm like, this is the best. I get baked goods now. I'm at baked good level, and so I like I was living with Blake at a time. We had just rented this like cool house in the Hollywood Hills, and I come back, and I'm like, yo, dude, I got these cupcakes. Like, I'm at baked goods level. And I like bit into a cupcake. It was the first cupcake I bit into. A chunk of her hair. Like a full-on tendril. Like
a lock?
Like a lock. Like
Oh.
she cut off a little chunk, baked it into a cupcake.
So,
How fucking weird is that, dude?
I mean,
What is she getting out of that? And then now I'm like, well, now I can't. That sucks. Because I want to be able to eat baked goods from fans. I want to be able to accept
that's Polish romance,
the,
I think,
the,
dude.
the
I don't-
delicious, treats that are given to me, but now you can. You never know.
God, that's wild to have somebody's hair in there.
Yeah. I guess it was like I'd rather have hair than just like they just a ton of fentanyl or some shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's for sure better, but still
They
weird.
had our Taco Bell in our town was famous. Somebody had been doing like duty in the meat or whatever whenever it first opened up. And I know this. People say this is an old
Your-
wives' tale,
dude, your
but this
town-
is a true story.
Oh, okay.
And they had, and I know people say this happened in our town, whatever. They shut our Taco Bell down for 2 months, bro. And people were losing their fucking mind. People were getting divorces outside of it. People were throwing bricks through the window. People were writing.
Well, so people were because I think the old wives' tale was like they used like dog meat or something, and you're like, what? No, but I love a cheesy gordita crunch. How could they do this? But then that wasn't like a real thing. So people were literally like a guy who was
They
working
busted
there.
a guy doing duty in the meat. And you can look it up too, I think, buddy. But this was, yeah, in my town, I don't think anybody's gonna frown at half a pound of raw Bichon or something. You know what I'm saying? But I think somebody goes and feces up a meat. Somebody goes
Yeah.
and feces up a one of those. What are they called?
Crunchwrap Supremes or whatever.
Yeah. But that really happened in our town, and it's unfortunate that kind of stuff happened. But
That sucks.
Can you find it? It may be on a Reddit.
I think I found the article. It's just loading.
I
Okay.
feel
From 1997.
An old article, bro.
Good
but
year.
Can't believe it happened. Dude, I remember one night I got out of my buddy's piss van with the sunglasses. I was so high, they woke me up because we stopped at Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And I got out and I went to live with this other family in high school, and I get out and they were there. And I was like, you ever be so high and you see some people, you're like, I'm not supposed to see these people when I'm high.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
It's the
the
worst.
worst.
That's the worst. Yeah, that's the worst.
God, it was the worst, man.
Dude,
I
the
was
worst
like, what's
is-
up?
it-
I said what, like it's some insane
Yeah.
vocal
like,
level.
Ah! And they're like, hey, Theo, good to see you. It's lasagna tonight. Good, love lasagna. Yeah, my agents called me the other week. They called me like at 8 o'clock at night.
Ooh,
And I had,
that's
like,
alarming.
I like smoked weed, and then they called right then, and then it's like the whole team, and I like just changed agencies, and they're just wanting to talk to me about stuff and like career stuff. Man, I just talked for like 12 minutes straight. Didn't let them get a word in. It's just me like saying words
Yeah.
that I don't know even the meaning of. I'm just saying shit, dude.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I like called my manager. I'm like, was I just saying a bunch of words? He's like, yeah, dude, you were making it. So I'm like, fuck. Don't call me at 8. Like that's an afternoon.
It's outside of sober hours for sure.
I might have just smoked a joint. In which case, I'm gonna be spinning my wheels in the mud.
Yeah.
In the vocabulary mud.
Oh yeah, I think especially if agents, they deserve to hear something from you every now and then. Even if you call them like, hey, listen to me read a little bit of this stuff that I wrote, and you just read like the first chapter of like Scarlet Letter to them.
Yeah, they would love that. They would love you using their time like that.
They'll stay on the phone. If
They
you're,
would. They
if
would
you're
have-
doing well enough,
Yeah,
they'll stay on the fucking phone.
They
though.
will. Yeah, they'll stay on there and be like, "Wow, that's interesting." Wow, good stuff. And this is because are you gonna write a book? I know a lot of comics are writing books.
Yeah, I thought about it. I've written a bunch over the years. I've written a lot. I've probably written half of a book for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes.
I'd read your book. I bet you know you got so many tales from
Thanks, man.
from your youth.
Well,
I
we
feel
grew up
like
in a
I'd like
unique
to-
area, man. Ian Somerhalder was from our town. You ever met him?
Show me him. His name is so familiar.
God, he was handsome, brother.
Really?
Nobody had ever seen it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I know this guy. This guy was in Vampire Diaries with my girl Nina Dobrev.
I mean, if you're able to be, I mean, he could be man or woman.
Yeah.
Like
You know
somebody
when
like
you're
him.
so hot,
Yeah.
you could be either. Like that's when you are the peak level. Like Brad Pitt. Put long hair, give him tits. That's a beautiful woman.
He's at least an 8 as a woman. This
Yeah.
guy though has that. Him and
Yeah, you might be right. He's got more.
maybe not. I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of woman you're into.
That's a sexy lady.
Yeah, but I mean, he was like they had the most. He was like the most handsome.
So
they could get.
is he like a right around your age? So you like knew this guy?
He was maybe a little bit older than me, but
So
we
he
heard
was in
about
a,
it.
yeah, he was so hot. He went to another school, and you're like, word is that there's just like a hot boy in
No,
another
he
school.
came. Here's what he would do though. This is the biggest flex ever. He would come to school the first day of school, and then go back to like being like a model or superhero. So he would just come the first day so all the chicks could see him.
Yeah.
Like there he is, there he is.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, us regular dudes, we got on everything we could.
Yeah.
We put cologne in a couple of
Yeah,
choice
you're
spots.
just reeking of cool water cologne.
Oh, we fucking done it all. We used an annual mouthwash. We done it all. We
Yeah.
were ready.
You got your what were the like cool jeans like Jabot?
Probably some Jabots,
Yeah.
maybe, or Duckhead, maybe something like you
Mhm.
you had something fucking decent.
Our shit was American Eagle dungarees. Ooh. Where it had like a little thing to like put your hammer.
Oh yeah, that was the best, dude.
like you always just had a hammer ready to go.
yeah.
Yeah, never used it. Never needed a hammer.
But
That-
then you bring a hammer and hit somebody with it,
yeah,
and you're the
and
bad guy.
suddenly you have to go to in school detention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly you're the criminal. Yeah, those are the sick jeans that.
Yeah, brother.
$28.
That's
Wow.
fair. I think
Yeah, that's a
fair price.
pretty reasonable price. Yeah, I don't know why my mom was being such a goddamn bitch about buying me these jeans. They're $28, lady. And that was in what, 98, 99? Like that was,
Yeah,
I feel like
those are good, man.
they were probably $11 then, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're 28 now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other big clothes was popular, man. Probably.
Oh, dude, for me it was a lot of no fear. You didn't want to have any fear.
Oh yeah.
on you wanted people to know from like across the room that you do not possess any fear.
Yeah.
None.
Oh, you had a fucking ounce of fear in you.
Yeah, you better not have any fear. And you want everyone to know that you have none. Absolutely none.
Remember the eyes? Remember that little eyes thing?
Uh-huh.
Every fucktard had that.
Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Remember that
and then
shit?
Massimo was another big.
Massimo was big, bro.
Yeah,
Massimo.
dude. I feel like you might have had some money if you rocked a Massimo shirt.
Yeah,
I didn't.
dude.
My family wouldn't hook me up with a Massimo. They had one that was like, it was like they made it hard to see. It said Massimo, but then like
The way they
it was like
the way it
blurred
built.
vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had I remember some I would always end up living with buddies, and so I would use their shit, you know?
Oh.
So,
So you kind of had a revolving closet.
a little bit, dude, but
Yeah.
I would always be like, "Oh man, I can't find your shirt," but then I'd have to wait. I'd be at school with them. They'd be like, "Oh, this is fucking."
You're like, I was really looking for that shirt. Have you seen it, Theo? And you're like, no, haven't.
I'd wear my backpack on the front in the halls. It's like fucking just the dumbest, dude.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
So did you go through any like phases? You know how like
yes, bro. I went through.
did you go through like a goth phase?
Yes.
Oh, I love that for you,
Dude, I went through it, and we had the boot, like the kind of like what were those shoes? Dr. Martin.
Oh yeah, Doc Martens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some of them.
So we had those. and
It
we
made
had-
you a little taller.
Yep.
That was big for me. I was always kind of the short kid, so I was like, it leveled me up a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for you, I could see that. I was afraid of heights. I didn't love having them on,
Yeah.
but I.
You can't fall from such great heights. All 4 feet 11 inches to tumble to the ground.
But I remember those. What I remember, like the hemp necklaces that had like the little silver balls in the hemp. You know what I'm
Dude,
talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I was at home making them.
Oh,
I'd go home. I figured out how to make them. I'd go home and make them. I like not do my homework and just make hemp necklaces. Listen to Bush Razor Blade Suitcase on my CD disc changer
Everything's in.
and just fucking.
I don't think
My
so.
mom was thinking I was just in there just inhaling weed smoke, but like I didn't even smoke. I was just like all about like hacky sacking and making hemp necklaces.
Dude, hacky sack was so much fun. Bro.
Oh, dude.
It
I was pretty, dude. You know,
just stall it on your
stall.
back.
You
Yes.
stall here, and then
Oh,
look at it,
yeah.
and you always have to look around as if like, can you believe I fucking caught it right here, ladies?
And by
What's up,
ladies, it
girl?
was just like some long-haired dude that you
Yeah,
knew.
yeah. Or it's just like one girl was just like a mouthful of bracelets, just like, wow, Adam, that's really cool.
Yeah, bro. There was nothing better and worse than the hacky sack circle. There was always like two kids that didn't even know how to speak. I feel like.
Yeah, and then there were lights out. Yeah, they're
It was
just,
like, he was like
or it's just like the nerdy kid who like never played any sports, and then he just appears in the hacky sack circle, and you're like, "Hey, Brian, what's up, dog? You want to play?" And he's like, "Oh, sure." And then he's just a phenom, dude.
oh,
You know, he's Pele with it. He's got his foot skills on point.
Oh. We had a kid, this real pasty kid. I mean, he was just, God, he probably, I don't know if he had any blood in him, you know?
Yeah.
He was so white.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you wanted to see color in his skin, you had to squeeze the blood up to one side of
So
him.
you would do that often. You always wanted to see blood.
But he broke out and did Michael Jackson one time in the cafeteria and shocked the world.
Oh my god, that was my favorite. You seem like a kid who like never talked, and then like during the talent show, he like is setting up his drum kit, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This kid. And then-
Randall has drums?
Yeah, Randall has drums, and then he's like, oh, this is just a little something that I like to do when I'm at home, and everyone's like, okay, Randall, let's see this, and then he's just fucking Lars with it. He's Travis Barker on that bitch, just beating them skins.
Oh, he played the national anthem?
Oh shit! And you just start saluting. He's not even playing the national anthem. You're just saluting him. Yeah. Suddenly he just levels up.
Oh. Yeah, it was fun.
And
the
that
talent
kid
show
was
was a crazy
Ian
chance.
Somerhalder.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just shows up, sets up his drum kit, fucking wails. Yeah. Thank you. Goodbye. Keep the drum kit. I'm going to go be a model.
God, dude, and we're all fucking jealous. And it was the worst, though, because he came and it was like, he just set the bar for what none of us could be, handsome-wise, to the girls, you know?
Yeah.
It was just,
There was a kid in my high school, Mike McCoy.
he was handsome?
Super cool looking. Would hang out with like college kids when we were freshmen in high school. How, dude? He how did he do it? He could dunk a basketball in 8th grade.
No.
Yeah, just the coolest. I remember one time me and my homie Nick Hoagie were walking through. I flipped some kids off because I was a bad boy.
Oh, yeah.
And these kids were gonna just beat my ass, and they were older. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And my homie Nick Hoagie was a big kid, so we like, we try to get over this fence. I hop over the fence. He couldn't get over the fence. And I'm like, so I had to hop back over the fence. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna let him get his ass kicked. It'll be solidarity, you know.
Oh, wow.
And so I hop back over and I'm like, all right. And these kids are like, you gotta be careful who you're flipping off. And I'm like, yeah, I know, we're gonna get our asses kicked. And then I just hear, nah, through the masses. And then the fucking crew parts. And Mike McCoy comes through and he's like, nah, they're cool. And these older kids, Mike's our age.
Yeah.
And the older kids are like, you sure, Mike? And he's like, yeah, they're cool. Be careful who you're flipping off. You better not do this shit ever again. And I'm like, how cool is that?
And he stood up for us.
Standing up for us, and then they listened to him. That's cool. What's
a
up, Mike?
flex,
How's it
dude.
going, man? Good to
Hey, thank
yeah.
you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Thanks for being that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good
'cause
guy.
There's ways that people can use their cool that they don't realize sometimes. I think.
Yeah,
You know?
he was just always a leader of men, and then he ended up. He's in the military in a badass fashion somehow. I don't exactly know what he's doing, but like there's photos of him like jumping out of helicopters, holding assault rifles.
Yeah.
like cool shit.
Right.
You know. So
We had this kid named Nathaniel, and he told everybody like he was an undercover cop or something, and he wasn't. And a bunch of people beat the shit out of him.
different story. Yeah, but yeah.
Different story, but he had like a fake bat. Like he one day pulled out. He's like, "Yeah, well, I got a surprise for you guys. I'm a fucking undercover cop."
Is
like,
it?
fuck you, Nathaniel. And they
Yeah,
just
fuck
beat
you.
him.
This is a 21 Jump Street, bitch. You're not an undercover. I've known you since the 4th grade. You're not an undercover cop.
Yeah, dude, you just failed spelling, dude. You're not a fucking
Yeah,
undercover
yeah,
cop.
yeah. Spell officer, motherfucker. You can't. There's no Q in it. You dumb fuck.
Oh, it was fun, man. Yeah, do you think about having children? Do you guys have a plan for it, or what? Once you get married, do you have to make a plan to have children, or how does that kind of? Do you have to? I guess you have to talk about it with your spouse.
You do. There is a conversation, and then it's like getting off of the birth control, and that takes like a few months to get out of your system, and then it's then it's game on.
You got a plan, huh? But
Yeah.
then even
but
women,
also like I'm like there can't be too much of a plan because like it's life, baby.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen, and then you just have to. Then you're gonna have like a homie that you like have to take care of. You know, which is because
Good.
I'm 39 years old now, and like to go this long without having to take care of a little homie is because I like a lot of my friends, they had kids. Like Blake and Anders had kids.
Evelyn Patrick, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Rare
They already have
Gang.
like crew little people that they take care of that are like
buddies.
playing sports.
What's up?
Wow.
You know,
Do you feel behind the curve?
because I mean, I feel like I also have a whole other group of friends that haven't yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, work sometimes keeps you busy, you know.
yeah, for me, I was like, I wanted to be
My day's going well. It's
set
good.
up enough that when I do have kids, like I don't have to feel like
How's yours?
like I know what I can pass on and what. There was a point where I was like, I have to be on the road all the time. I have to be doing. I have to have a TV show. I have to have a stand-up show. I have to do all these things to get to the place that I want to be. And then now I'm like, okay, like I could set up a movie, and I'm confident enough that I'll get another opportunity to come. I don't have to jump on everything. So
Yeah.
there will be. So I'll have more time to be a good dad because that's pretty important.
Oh, I think it's going to be key, probably.
Yeah.
Was there yeah, I guess it's kind of nice to be. It is nice to be able to.
It's going
say,
pretty well.
I don't want.
I am from LA,
And
Los
feel
Angeles,
It
California.
used to be like you would think like, oh, if I don't do that, someone else is going to do
LA.
that, and then I would have lost out on that opportunity. When now it's like it's fine, someone else can do it.
Right.
It's just not. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Or I want to have the summer to do X, Y, Z. Like that is more important than this right now.
Yeah.
And I think like just career-wise right now, I feel like I'm in a place where like I can pick and choose a little more than I used to.
Congrats, man. It's real cool.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, you too. You know, it's the same with the podcast world that you've built. It's nice to.
Yeah.
I remember when it was taken off for you, and I saw you at in the hallway of the Improv, and I remember being like, just knowing that your stand-up was really taking off, and I was like, is it your Netflix special? Did your special come out and like kind of blew you up? Because I think I was gearing up to do my Netflix special. And you were
I'm
like,
trying to be a full-time streamer, yeah.
the podcast
Trying to be.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is like, and seeing all you guys, you and Segura and
Yeah, it's a whole world.
yeah,
It's interesting to have a whole world, you know. And I think it's like it's interesting to have so many different people in here get to. It's interesting that it almost gave everybody else a different Hollywood, or a lot of people a different type of Hollywood. You know, we just kind of get to communicate. Get
What-
to sit and chat with people too, you know, and catch up.
That's
I got
fun.
to talk to some of my heroes.
yeah.
you
It's
know?
fun to be able to what I think is cool about podcasts is it's like
League of
it just
Legends is
gives
my
people
favorite
an
game.
opportunity to
Yeah.
go, like, I wonder
Right now it
what my
is, for
favorite
sure.
comics, how they are when they're not. Are they funny just off the cuff, or
Yeah.
do they have to like write everything down? It just gives them a opportunity to peek behind the curtain of like what is kind of like to sit in the back of a comedy club with, with comedian peers.
Yeah.
And it's not like we would sit down and have like an hour-long conversation in the back of a comedy club because you got to do your set, but it's like it gives people a little peek.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting to see. It's interesting to hear. I like listening to some pods, and I'm like, oh wow, this is good. I mean, it's just
Beside this,
it's
I
nice to be
have
able to
played
talk about
Valorant,
things.
yes.
It's nice to be able to see where somebody's career is.
I'm
at.
so bad at it,
Some
though. I need a
people
better
have,
computer.
People's lives get so busy too. I've started to realize that.
I need a
sometimes
bigger
when I sit down
screen,
with someone to
but yeah,
podcast,
my
it made
friends
me
and
feel
I
like
play
I need
Valorant
to
all the
talk to
time.
them for a while.
Yeah,
So to
that's
make
right.
to really try and make the time have some value, not only to listeners, but just like between me and them.
What's like there's like some meme going around of like, I don't know, of like showing like kids playing, and then it's like, at some point, you're gonna go out and play with your friends, and that'll be the last time you played with your friends in your childhood. And you're like, oh yeah, and it's sort of the same with like comics, where we all kind of were in the same
Shit, dude.
circles when we were starting out at the comic store, Bob's, the Laugh Factory, wherever, and you just see the same people over and over and over and over and over again, and then all of a sudden something happens in someone's career and it takes them this way or
well, I
that way, and
made
then
a
you no longer
character
see
with
them.
Valorant as a
It's probably
logo.
been years since I've seen you,
Yeah.
so like it's
Damn.
cool
That's
for
dope.
the podcast world to be able to sit down with people that you respect and like.
That's crazy.
and,
What character?
And have conversations.
Yeah.
I guess your
And
cam
get to catch
screen
up
is not
with people
completely
that, you
fit.
always liked, even if you only ever saw them for 15 minutes in the back of comedy clubs once a week.
Yeah. I don't know what to say after that. Zach, do we have any other good news? Was there anything else that we were looking at in the news that was interesting?
Oh shit.
Yeah, well,
Fuck.
so it looks. They just tweeted this photo last night of Elon Musk is training for his fight with Mark Zuckerberg.
See,
guess
I
with Lex
thought-
Friedman.
That's awesome that he's training. I love it,
The
and I
fuck?
really want to see this fight because it will be entertaining regardless of how good of a fight it is. I thought I read something about how Elon Musk's mom doesn't want him to fight and came out and said like the fight is canceled. But maybe that's big news. I don't know. I have no
Do you use
idea.
artwork on your channel?
Yeah, but it's only
A lot of people
motivated
offer.
people
I'm
to
good right now on
use
artwork.
as like a ploy
Oh
or
no.
something. I think that I would encourage this match, Maya and Musk.
Okay.
Wow. Well, I think she must know that Elon. I think they say that Zuckerberg can actually
Well, you see,
compete.
Mark Zuckerberg. He's
Yeah, a lot of people ask. Oh, Reina, nice. I like Reina.
He's only 5'7". Now Elon's 5'10" or 11. I don't know the weight.
I like Reina a lot.
But if you have a guy that's really strong, that's small, I think he's going to defeat a guy that's weaker, that's big.
Well, and also, Elon isn't known for being like a fighter at all, and I feel like Mark trains.
He trains,
works
right?
out.
He trains.
He's like in the Jeff Bezos camp of like he got rich and then now he just eats space food and treats his body like a temple. Right?
Yeah. I mean, Mark hasn't blinked probably since 91 or 92.
Yeah, I think he had the surgery.
yeah. I mean, you can see that he's writing an algorithm with his fucking eyes, bro.
Yeah, dude. He is human AI right there.
It totally is. There's no doubt about it. He very much has an AI look. And Elon looks, I think Elon, I don't know how Elon wins, but if Elon is low key, I mean, you don't even look like he's holding his boxing gloves correctly. If you look at the boxing gloves picture.
Yeah, that chin is way out there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a great point. Even just right there.
Oh shit.
And also the age difference, that is something.
Oh, that'll
you
wear
know?
you. Oh, yeah,
That'll
your
wear
gas
you
tank will be
out.
bad.
Oh my,
But
knock
the
him
gas
up,
tank, step on
bro.
light and tweet me. The guy will tweet it freaking.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
guy's-
you're right. He's got gas in the tank, so maybe. I'm excited to see it. He's also a lot heavier,
True.
so,
It's a good point.
You just lay on top of him, you might win.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I think it's just getting interesting in the world. This is the type of stuff you're starting to see, and we talked about this years ago about everything becoming WWE. You know, everything becoming matches. It's like you have, Jake Paul and Nate Diaz are gonna fight. You know, you have potentially. I mean, this has potential. You know, like Dana White wouldn't waste his time on communicating with these guys.
No, I mean, I want to see it. Like, it is weird. It sort of feels like Hunger Games or some shit, like, where, like, they used to make movies where, like, in a world where the two richest men in the world just duke it out, it feels fake, you know? And it's so weird now that, like, if me and you wanted to just fight, we could fight, and then we could, like, be at Staples Center fighting. When it used to be like you used to have to be a fighter, you would like have to go through training, or it'd just be like me and you were like similarly built. It'd be like, yeah, Theo's got the reach, but Adam can get inside, and then
we could be at least on an undercard.
Yeah, we could be on an undercard.
We could be on an undercard for probably like maybe who else could go? Who else would be on that card? I'd like to see Josh Duhamel against somebody.
I could. He's a big man too. He's
Big
got
guy.
that long reach.
Big.
Him versus Dak Shepard.
Ooh.
Fucking, that's a bangerang right there.
Good, that's
yeah, we're the undercard. People are trickling in for us.
it. Yeah, they're trickling in.
Yeah, they're trickling in. They're like still getting their drinks and their foot-long Dodger dog.
Yeah, somebody's explaining to his wife who we are.
It's like, yeah. Showing clips. She's like, oh, I saw Bumper from Pitch Perfect is fighting the podcaster guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Honey, it's gonna get better, honey.
Yeah.
It's gonna get better. Yeah.
Better.
Wait, we
The
have to
fight
make-
will get better.
Yeah.
It's just me and you just dancing around each other.
Yeah.
Neither of us really wants to throw a punch. Yeah,
You break into. I hit you once. You break into song.
I do I spin off.
And then who else is on that card? Who's under us? You said Bangarang. What if you went like like a Rufio type of like versus
Oh.
Emmanuel Lewis maybe?
Was Emmanuel Lewis dead?
But hey,
Don't
look.
want to put that out there if he's not.
Hey,
Sorry.
whoever brought Pink's mom to the show though can throw him on stage.
Yeah.
That's his promoter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So.
There
No,
we go.
52
Oh, no, 52. All right.
versus Rufio. So if you had them two, and we need a good female bout on the card too.
Yes, absolutely. Jane Lynch, Amy Schumer.
Ooh, I like that.
That's fun. Jane's a little older, but she's a tall woman.
She's longer.
She's longer.
And she looks like she could go through a fucking. Like,
yeah, she could run through a wall, that lady.
Oh, she looks like like a wind chime that'll beat the fuck out of some music.
That is exactly what she looks like. That's a perfect description of Jane Lynch.
That'd be fun, man. What else? Anything else, Zach? Or do you think we covered a lot of neat stuff?
Did we cover neat stuff, Zach?
Yeah, I think we covered some good stuff.
Yeah.
Learned about piss pigs. That was informative.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so heartbreaking.
Yeah, we couldn't really look it up because it is pretty pornographic.
Thank God.
Mhm.
And I have the blockers too on my phone and computer. But the movie is July 7th.
That's right, July 7th, The Outlaws.
We want to go watch it. And what do consumers need to think about when they go watch stuff, like, and how it affects what other movies are going to be created? Because I feel like that's starting to become like, it's always been a thing. But with only so many comedies being created last year, man, that's unbelievable.
It sucks, dude. It sucks. And luckily, like, Netflix is one of the places that is just willing to roll the dice a little more than other places because it matters so much less. Like The Machine and Sebastian's movie about my father,
Mhm.
I think. The fact that they put both of those movies out on the same weekend, I'm like, that fucking sucks. Because, like, you're putting out 6 movies all year long, and then you put 2 of them out on the same weekend. And so, like, if you were going to go see a comedy, you had to choose between these 2. And then when those movies only make $8 million or whatever opening weekend, well, you're like, well, if it was only the one movie,
Maybe could have made 14.
could have made, 15, 16. And then that's a healthy amount for it to make. But,
Right.
yeah, so, support. If you like comedies, support comedies. Watch it. Tell your friends to watch it. And then we'll have the opportunity to make more of them. And it used to be, people are like, well, if you made better comedies, then, and it's like, Sure, but it's hard to make a movie. First of all,
It's really hard.
And secondly, there used to be like 40 shots at making a good comedy, and then maybe 2 or 3 of them were a classic comedy, and you're like, well, that old school, and it came out, and you're like, well, there was 28 other movies that weren't old school that came out that year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the more opportunities we have to make classic comedies, the more we'll be able to nail it. But I do think Outlaws has the potential to be one of those type of movies. So I'm really proud of it.
Do you think of do you start to think of creating a movie entirely of your own, like, or partnering with somebody and using your own, like, and doing it direct to consumer? Does that ever start to become a discussable model? Maybe not in
Yeah.
your space. I mean, you're kind of a
Yeah, just because it's the movies I want to make are usually like action comedies, and they are.
you need money.
I need money. Like, I don't have $30 million of my own money to invest in the movie.
Right.
So you got
You
to
need a
partner.
studio. You need a big deal.
Yeah, you need a partner, and then also like it costs a lot to promote a movie too. Like that's where people forget, like buying TV commercials to play during basketball games and like things that people are actually watching live. That costs a fortune.
Yeah.
And to put billboards up and to have radio commercials and like to get the word out there, like I don't have that infrastructure. So like Workaholics movie, we were gonna do a Workaholics movie, and we were 5 weeks out from shooting.
You'd already written it.
Already written it. We're in pre-production. Had offices. We're building sets. Had the whole cast and crew coming back. We're gonna shoot it here in LA.
Wow.
And then at the top of this year, Paramount Plus said it didn't, and they like went off on like the holiday break, and when they came back, they were like, you know what, we have a new global agenda, and we don't feel that Workaholics fits the global agenda, and they pulled the plug from us. And everyone's like, just make the movie on your own. And it was like, we don't have that much money to, we're not billionaires. We don't have that kind of coin. So like, now it's just, and they own the rights to it too, so we couldn't even anyways. So yeah, we just all that work for nothing.
How did, and that, I mean, that just goes to show you how hard it is, why people don't. I can't imagine that movie. I can't imagine that not getting made. I can't imagine if you're going to find a brand that people love,
Yeah.
that they would not think that would have an audience.
It was so heartbreaking because it was. I did get to write a really funny press release though about just I said butthurt like 15 times in the like, how butthurt I am that they pulled the plug, which it was funny to see like on Variety and the Hollywood Reporter saying Adam Devine says he's very butthurt that the Paramount Plus canceled the Workaholics movie, but they like were gassing us up. They're like, this is the home for Workaholics. We want to build out the Workaholics universe.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to do like a spin-off show that you guys executive produce. Maybe we do an animated project. We'll do the movie. Like, we want your brand of comedy to live on Paramount Plus. And we're like, thank God. Like, we have a home base that we could just go to. We can make all of our stuff there. We can
People love it.
We could keep the Workaholics family alive. Like, so many friends and people that worked on the show that would like that was going to be their opportunity, and then they just pulled the rug out from us. So
God.
super butthurt about it, but
Anything else? Zach, anything? That's unreal, man.
yeah.
It just shows you how hard it is to get something past. It's like, do people not? It's almost like if it doesn't have global power, if they don't think it can sell, if it can sell tickets to everywhere.
Well, see, that was what was weird is like I've been in the Amazon jungle. I've been up the Amazon, and we stayed in a little hut, and the guy who was like in charge of feeding us, his teenage son knew Workaholics.
Oh, yeah.
Was a fan. I've been in Germany, just like walking along the fucking Berlin Wall, and people are stopping me saying they love Workaholics. I'm like, it was pretty global.
Yeah.
Like, as far as a kind of a cult comedy show goes, I'm like, it wasn't like it wasn't like $100 million Marvel movie.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. But, I feel like they're really trying to figure out what they're doing over there at Paramount Plus, and they have not fully figured it out.
It feels so weird to know how people who are making the choices don't don't have a real understanding of what's going on or what the zeitgeist of like
Well,
people think is funny is.
Yeah, well, I think it was like it was because Comedy Central hit, and it was people of a certain age, right, that really loved it. That they were like just got out of college or were still in high school or like maybe even a little bit older than that. That were like, oh yeah, that was just like me when I was in college, or kids that were younger that were like, oh wow, that seems crazy.
Yeah.
Like when I have my first jobs, I hope me and my friends still live with each other and
Fuck
party,
yeah, boy.
and party all the time. And then I think like they're like people who had kids that were the right age know about Workaholics because they're like, oh, my teenage sons loved Workaholics. And I think it was just like the generation, the guys that are in charge now didn't have, their kids were too
they don't
young,
know.
so they didn't know.
Fuck.
And I think it was just that we missed that window. I think.
What a fuck.
It's all right. Things are going well.
Yeah, things are going well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But it is interesting to hear about that, dude. The other night after a show, this Mexican kid, this guy at the show, he's a Mexican guy. He comes up and he's like, "This is the craziest request I ever got." He goes, "Hey, bro, can you make a video for my cousin Oscar?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. What do you want me to say?" And he's like, "He got possessed by ghosts." That's what he said, right? And he was not joking, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, he got possessed by ghosts, man. So just fucking tell him something positive."
So just try to exorcise his demons.
Yeah, I was like, Oscar, homie, we miss you, homie. That's what I fucking told him.
We miss you. Come back to the light.
I didn't know what
Yeah.
to say, bro. But
Yeah.
that was probably one of the craziest requests that I've gotten from
That's
somebody.
so funny.
Oh, dude, in Germany one time, we're biking on the thing. We're biking somewhere. Some guy's in a park had a wiener on him. I mean, a real fucking, like a Datsun. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He had that thing would go
Yeah.
get the paper.
Yeah, the
you know?
long, thick.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really had fucking. I don't know how he did it, but
Yeah.
he did it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was swinging it like a rope in the fucking park.
As you have to. If you got a thing like that, you got to swing it.
That's true, huh?
Yeah. And it's also Germany. They don't even care. That's just an afternoon there.
Right, we were shocked. Other
Yeah.
people were literally splitting up a, maybe a little, cutting up a kiwi right next to it and having like a little lunch.
Yeah. It's fine. That's just an afternoon for them.
Yeah, just a German afternoon, brother.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adam Devine, thank you, brother.
Thanks, Theo. Good to see you, dude.
You too, man.
Hell yeah.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves.
What's up, stream? Oops. Scarlet Amelia, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Rare Gang Ocean. How are you? Hello, hello, hi. I'm doing well. How are you? I'm doing great. Been amazing. How are you? Mm.